There's a snail in my pot koozie. Brian brought me these MRE matches. They're supposed to work in damp climates, and I don't like them. I specifically asked for market basket matches. Ah! Well, hello, you are hiking with Jenny on the Appalachian Trail, and today is day 31. I just left the Bald Mountain Shelter, and I have about 17 miles to get down to where I can be picked up at Irwin. So today looks like the elevation is a bit better than yesterday. I think it's only ascending 2,600 feet and descending more like 6,000 feet or something. Should go faster than yesterday, although I did get a later start than I wanted. I kind of just forgot that I wanted to plan it out and set an alarm and everything, and I slept till like 7:45. So I didn't get on trail until 9:45. So it took me 2 hours to get packed up and get all my camp stuff done. Not ideal, but hopefully I can make good time with these miles and get down to the parking area hopefully by 6. I prefer earlier, but we'll do what we can. I slept really well last night. I stayed really warm inside my hammock. I reached some conclusions about through hiking with a hammock, though, that some people might not want to hear, but it's not the most practical thing. I understand now why most people bring tents. I feel like with a tent, you don't have to worry as much about wind when you're setting up and during the night. The reason is because when you're in a hammock, your tarp can kind of act like a kite and wind gets up in there and it can pull your stakes out. I feel like, especially with a freestanding tent, you have more stability in the wind. You have to be really careful where you set up your hammock in the wind. I searched for a good amount of time trying to find a place that wasn't so bad, and I still had to like pile, heavy things on top of my stakes to make sure they didn't rip out. So that part is a challenge. Anytime where it's like high wind gust, 30 miles per hour or more, it's a bit of a challenge to set up and keep it set up. The other thing is, I think it's a little harder to keep all of your stuff dry unless you're keeping most of it in your hammock with you, because even if you have things under your tarp, if you're in a cloud, that mist is still going to get on your stuff if you have it under your tarp and outside of your hammock. So like I can't fit everything in my hammock, so I usually have like my backpack out with the cover on it, and just random small things. And even just like when I didn't have my food in the bear box and I had it with me while I was kind of cooking, the mist was getting on just my food bag, and so my food bag was wet. So it's kind of challenging to keep everything dry. It takes a lot of skill in bad weather to use a hammock. So the hammock sock, well, it's really great and it keeps you warm and it keeps you dry during the night. There is condensation that forms on the outside of it, and if you're putting it back inside your backpack, that moisture is now in your backpack. So in some cases it might be actually prudent to take the sock, separate the sock from your underquilt at least, and put the underquilt in the backpack and keep the sock more toward the outside. And it hasn't gotten to the point where like I felt the need to do that yet, because Now I'm just hiking to town so I can dry everything out anyway, but if I knew I was gonna hike multiple days in rain, I might think about detaching everything and keeping the wet stuff separate, because that was one thing that happened like a few nights ago. I had everything packaged up as I do, and I think that the moisture from the hammock sock kind of permeated to the underquilt while it was in my pack, and that made the underquilt not work as well. So just something to keep in mind, I think, for the future. It's a learning curve. Today the trail is starting out pretty easy. I don't think there's going to be anything really difficult today, so that's a good thing. Well, I got about 9.8 miles left on the day to get down to where I'm hoping to get picked up. And while I'm on this mostly trending downhill descent, I wanted to take a moment to thank my newest member, Jim B. Thank you very much for your support. Also want to thank my continued members, Rabid Turtles and Thomas Adams. Thank you so much. And a repeating donor, Johnny Mack. Thanks so much, guys, for your support. It helps so much. Can't thank you enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, can't forget all of my subscribers and viewers of my videos. Thank you so much for watching the videos, commenting, sharing, liking, everything. Everything helps. You guys are all donating your time to watch me walk for some reason, so thank you. I was looking forward to walking on this road, but that's not the trail. That's all right, we're still going down. Just stopped at the No Business Shelter for lunch, and I have about 6 miles left to get to, I think it's called Unaka Springs, which has a parking area where supposedly I can get an Uber. So hopefully I can have service there, but it's looking like I'll probably get down there by 6:30. So that's pretty good. 17-mile day. I think that's pretty good for starting at almost 10 o'clock. The back of my heel has been bothering me on both feet, especially going up. Not sure if that's a tendon, but it's a little concerning to me. Probably means I'm overusing my feet. It's not like really painful, it's just noticeable. Something to keep monitoring, I suppose. I'm in the middle of this blowdown. I whacked my knee really hard on this log trying to get over it. I'm really liking the switchbacks on the way down. Makes it go by faster. Nice little view of the river and Irwin from this lookout here. Well, I made it to the Super 8 motel, and so I Ubered here, and I seen somewhere on Far Out that said that Uber would be cheaper because the shuttle was like $30 and Uber was like $7. So I did that, and it was a little bit of a wait, but while I was waiting for the Uber,
Steve, the shuttle driver, pulled up, and he was pretty upset because I had called an Uber. I didn't have arrangements with Steve, the shuttle driver. I just got there and hired an Uber, and that was that. It was gonna be cheaper. But then the guy was like, well, I would have driven you for free and whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. He kind of acted like I had single-handedly robbed him of business because I called an Uber. And so that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way and made me not want to use Steve, the shuttle driver, honestly. But everything worked out great. I mean, the Uber was like $8. The driver was really nice. He gave me a water. He was asking me about the trail. So it was just really cool. I like using Uber, and I've never called the shuttle driver before, and I don't want to end up having to pay like $30 for a shuttle that's just gonna be like a 5-minute drive. So I don't know. I don't have regrets about calling an Uber. So anyway, I ordered Domino's because my feet will not move. I don't know what it is. I have some stiffness in the back of my heels, and I really think that I need to rest my feet and not do a 17-mile day tomorrow. So I think tomorrow I'm going to keep my mileage low and just try and rest up the best I can tonight. I did get a salad with my pizza so that I could feel better about getting a pizza. But I'm just, I don't want to leave the hotel. It was gonna be a 20-minute walk to town, and I don't want to do it. So I'm just gonna chill here and maybe take a bath later, even though I already had a shower, because I think soaking would help